Welcome to Hot to Trot. This is not your normal horse racing podcast. My name's Ashley Eisenbiel.
And I'm Donna Locke, and we're your hosts for Hot to Trot.
Welcome back to another episode of Hot to Trot. We're getting ready for the Adios Pace for the Orchids at Washington, PA on July 27th. So we have none other than racing director Scott Lishia and the track photographer Chris Gooden, who I'm sure you guys have seen him on TikTok because he has been viral multiple times and he is a great advocate for the harness racing.
Yeah, this has been a great interview. We had so much fun with these guys. They're just fun guys to begin with. So I knew this was going to be a good interview. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And we can't wait for the Adios.
Chris, Scott, welcome to Hot to Trot. We're so excited to have you guys because we're getting into summer season. It's almost Adios time. But before we get into all the fun stuff, we want to talk a little bit about your backgrounds because Chris, you didn't really start out in horse racing photography, so tell us a little bit about how you got to the Meadows, and you've been here for quite some time.
So I started out here in 1998. Prior to that, I was a sports photographer, like youth sports. Started shooting some weddings before then too, and then I just kind of fell into this. My ex-wife was really good friends with Doug Bishop, who was the track photographer here at the time. And he had needed a second shooter, so I started working for him. And then he decided he didn't want to do it any longer in 2002, so I took over then. So this year was the start of my 26th year here.
Did you always know you wanted to shoot horse racing, or did you know much about it before?
Not a clue. I always say, so I grew up in Washington, and I don't think before the age of, I was probably around 27 or 28, I guess, when I started working for Doug. I don't think I'd ever been to the Meadows prior to that.
Wow.
And it literally, I grew up like 5 minutes away. I'd never been to the track.
That's amazing. Well, Scott, you and me have some history. We actually go back to Maryland Jockey Club days, but I know you've had an extensive history in racing in your career. So tell us a little bit about your journey to the Meadows.
Yes, we do have history, and let's just say most of it's really good, Ashley. So there. Actually, I started going to the races. My parents ran the kitchen in the jocks room at the Maryland tracks. So probably late 70s, maybe little trips here and there. They used to race 6 days a week back then. My dad would come home. We still lived in Pennsylvania, but my dad would work away and then come home. And every once in a while I'd go down. So that was my first taste of anything racing, and ended up doing that for summer jobs and things. And then my oldest brother did the same kind of work in New Jersey, migrated there because I would work up to the Preakness, when I got out of school or college, do the Preakness, and then bounce to Monmouth Park and work all summer there. So that was the first foray into the racetrack. And then out of that, I got a job as a claims clerk at the Meadowlands on the thoroughbred side back in the early 90s. And then it just kind of started and spiraled from there.
And now you're here at the Meadows. How'd you get to the Meadows?
Well, it's right off of 79. No. I had worked, like I said, up in Jersey and was in racing, out for a little bit, came back, and was actually working for the Racing Commission. And of all things, one of those pop-ups either on Facebook or LinkedIn or somewhere, and Chris McErlane popped up, "It's your birthday." And I said, "Hey, Chris, happy birthday. Hope things are going well." Because I had known Chris from his days back with the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority. So, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, blah, blah, blah." And we talked, and he said, "I might have an opportunity. Would you be interested in, considering?" And as I said, I grew up just south of Somerset. So it was kind of like coming home for me. We were living in Maryland at the time. That's where we had our children and we're raising them. So that's how the opportunity arose. He was looking for somebody, and it was actually seemed like a pretty good fit for me. So we took a shot.
Yeah, and it's been good since you came to the Meadows. And you and I can share some stories about working with Ashley. We don't have to tell them on camera.
That's right. Yes, absolutely.
I'm great. I'm fun. I'm just as high strung as I was then as I am now.
No, we were very fortunate though. I think we got to work down in Maryland together, and with you're lucky when you get to be around big events, and for us the biggest event was the Preakness and that weekend and that celebration, but we did a lot of different things. We used to do concerts on the racetrack between the races, and all the things that everybody does. So it was a really good experience and a lot of fun. It was good times.
Got to do some fun stuff with Maryland Million, wing eating contests. That was a fun time, getting everybody to eat like hot wings and not choke. I didn't really think that through.
College day beer pong, not a good idea. That was a bad one.
Didn't get the turnout.
Yeah, we learned our lesson.
A little tipsy, but it was fun. The kids had fun.
It was.
Stan getting on the bus with the kids on the way to the track was the best. That was genius. Yeah. The kids getting to learn about how to bet on the bus with a keg on the way to the racetrack. So, hey, it was a tailgate.
Exactly. It was fun times for all.
Absolutely. So, Scott, Handel's been going up at the Meadows. What are you contributing that to?
I mean, I wish I knew exactly. It's so hard to, kind of, you're never comparing apples to apples on any given day. If you are, it's a Macintosh and a Granny Smith, weather, all those kind of things. I think for us, we worked really hard to kind of leverage ourselves with the other tracks that are out there. We're putting out a really good product. I mean, with the horsemen and their participation, the racing office, we're trying to put full fields out there. We're fortunate we can race 9 on the gate. We redid our betting format about a year or so ago, and we've taken some of our bets, and if they're not hit, we don't pay a consolation. We just have like I call them instant carryovers. I don't know that we'll ever build that $200,000-$300,000 carryover. I mean, I think I saw Parks is forcing something out today, maybe. They have 200 and something thousand. We're not fortunate enough that we build like that, but having those little instant ones every once in a while has helped. And, it's a combination of all those things. I wish I could point to one, but I think it's a combination of all that and the hard work of everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of hard work, Chris, you had qualifiers today and you were down there videoing, but tell us what it's like on a race day, because you're always moving. You're never in one spot.
No, I'm never in one spot. So a typical race day, weather, is going to play a factor in everything that I do there. But if it's a nice day like it is today, I don't stay in the office. I'll be outside filming or photographing anything that's going on the track. I'll go to the paddock. I'll try anything that I possibly can to get away with the commission and make sure everything is okay and kosher. But, I like to be innovative. I like to try different things and just to see how far I can push harness racing.
What's your most viral video? What's the highest number of views you've had?
So I have a video that one of the trainers came to me the new trainer who trains Whiskey Blue, and asked me if I would put the GoPro under the bike. I had a fair amount of people ask me that, to be able to film forward so they can see where the horse is hitting himself and causing himself to break stride. So I filmed that one, asked him if it was okay if I use it on my social, and we're a little over 15 million on that one.
That's so cool that it was like actually like at a request of a trainer just to see how the horse was like running. And then
yeah, I've had a handful of trainers come to me since then and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? And because it's a view that you can't see. So it's very hard sometimes to see a horse hit itself because you're only getting a view from this side as they're on the track. So you need to be either in front of them or behind them, and you can't be in front of them. So this is really the only opportunity you can put a camera, and that's the technology now makes it so much easier. The quality that GoPro and DJI, the two cameras that I use, the quality that they make is just incredible to be able to have on those little cameras that are literally, like this big.
Have you lost many GoPros at the track?
I haven't lost any. I've only had two crash and burn. I've had 3 go down. The first one, got run over by the drag. It probably would have been okay. Yeah. The second one got stepped on by a horse and shattered the back screen, so that was gone. The third one, I have a really small camera that's probably about the size of your thumb, and I had it mounted on like a clamp that they used to do here for head numbers. So I had it mounted right here in between the horse's ears. That's when I learned if a horse has a hood on, the fabric it won't hold with the fabric, and it went off. Camera didn't die, and it was cool because it kind of fell to the ground. And it fell off the track, but it fell just enough that I could watch them go around the second time. So it filmed them twice for me. But other than that, no. I've learned the hard way to use everything that GoPro makes. Is like a lot of their stuff is plastic. I've learned that a lot of aftermarket companies make stuff out of metal, and all of my mounts I've moved over to metal because I don't have to worry about the stress of cranking them down tight on the plastic can just snap from the vibration of a race bike. So I've learned that make sure everything's metal.
How are the drones doing? Have you hit any trees lately?
No, that was not. Damn it, Donnell. So that was only one time, and that was a weird drone. It's completely different than all the other drones I have. But no, my fleet's up to 8 now. I only use about 3 or 4 of them for racing. The other ones, they're either older, and I've replaced them with newer ones or drones that probably wouldn't fit well at the track. But that is learning to fly. It's one thing to follow something, but it's another thing to follow something in an oval pattern at 35 miles an hour and not be jerky. It's to go around the turns, you have to become so smooth at it. And it's taken me time, but I've gotten better at it.
Oh, I agree. Those are my favorite videos, are the ones from the drones. I love that view, like going over the gate and watching them all come off the gate. Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh, I agree.
What do you think's the most rewarding part of your jobs?
Scott?
Oh, my job?
I'll let you go first. She said jobs, so I was letting
both
you
of you
go first.
Well, I just want to say we did trim some of the trees along the outside of the track out just recently, so that'll be not the
Thank
big
you.
one. No, so,
Thanks.
Just full disclaimer on that. I enjoy seeing the transition from like when I first got here to maybe where we are now. And when I say transition, just with the people I work with the horsemen, with those types of things, seeing how we kind of all grow and understanding what kind of their viewpoints, their desires are, and then trying to work in what maybe I'm trying to do or what we're trying to do, and getting that merge. I like the process. I'm more of a process kind of guy than I guess you never come to that final plateau where, hey, it's done, let's move on kind of thing. But I enjoy that process and working with all the people. Because for me, and I know this kind of sounds a little contrary, but the people are what attracted me to racing when I was a kid. There were all the characters, the guys and dolls kind of guys with the loud jackets and the this and the that. And I just thought that was awesome. Yeah, the horse racing was going on. It was neat, but it was the people. They were cool. So that's what my most rewarding part.
Chris?
I'd have to say, at least if I keep on the social media side, probably watching harness racing get pushed out more and more to the general public. I mean, so case in point, Scott and I have been talking about it over the past couple of weeks. I made that video. I had a camera on Ronnie Wren's bike where I just so happened to catch the video of the horse behind him literally coming over top of his shoulder and literally sitting right here. So made the video, the wife picked the perfect song for it. I'm going to give her all the credit for that one. And it took off. So 2 days in, we were over 10 million views already. And it was just, I've never had anything shoot like that. But just to watch the amount of people come to me and say, you don't know how many people have reached out to me who have nothing to do with horses, but tell them, hey, I saw this video, you should watch this. And everybody's like, we know this is what we do. We know him, I mean, so, but it got to the point though, where I'm seeing the outside effects of it. So the first outside effect, I can watch, like on Instagram, I can watch all of your priority people that come through. So the first one that I came through that liked it was like a former Steeler, Ramon Foster, that played here. And then the next one was Ross Smith. So if you know who Ross Smith is, he's got 6 million followers on social media. He does videos with his 90-year-old grandmother, and they're hilarious. And everybody's seen them. Well, he liked it. There's a Tristan Ham, I think is his name. He's at 2 million followers. He's actually boxing with Le'Veon Bell, who is a former Steeler. And I think it might be on one of the undercards, like one of the Jake Paul or Logan Paul fights. He liked it. And then I got the gentleman who plays the king on the TV series, The Vikings. He liked it. So I haven't told Scott, but the most recent one was over the weekend. The actual company, DJI, who makes the camera that I used, reached out to me and asked, hey, can we have that video? We want to use it across all of our platforms. So when I hit that mark where they have hundreds of millions of followers everywhere, that's made me, that's what I want racing. I've been looking for that crossover for 2 years on social media, and I think I finally found one.
Get that sponsorship of those cameras. Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, especially if you lose any.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm always amazed by the videos. They're so exciting. And I know we're going to skip ahead because we're on the topic already to how do you pick the music for your videos?
Well, I mean, I try to stay as trending as possible with whatever's trending on either TikTok or Instagram or Reels. They give you your choices of a lot of the times, especially with TikTok, they will actually give you a song right out of the gate. And there's a lot of the times that I do like that song, but that video, perfect example, the Whisper song. I mean, it kind of, you just sometimes, songs are just going to fit a video perfectly. But I also have songs in my head and go, okay, I know when I shoot something like this, it's going to fit this type of song perfectly. So it's just, it's one thing you have to, it's tough because I have to make the video separate for every social media platform because I have to use each platform's music. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, it's different on each platform. Insta and Facebook, not so much because they're both Meta, but TikTok, it's never the same. So it does get frustrating because it does take a lot longer sometimes, but it's still rewarding in the end. It's a fun process. I enjoy doing it.
Coming from the pictures and being as creative as you are, do you like that the world has gone more to video and reels, or do you miss just being able to do stills and that being super creative?
It comes and goes. There are times when I really enjoy filming, and there are times when I'm like, you know what, I need to get a camera out and start shooting more. Like I'm kind of like right now, I'm kind of like falling in between the two phases. That usually happens during stake season. I tend to want to photograph more because I have so much going on the content side during racing for stakes. It's just too hard. It's too difficult to deal with. I've resorted to, I have the Ray-Ban Metas that will film, and I've resorted to when I want to film stakes horses that win the races, they'll be coming back to the winner's circle and I'll fire off the glasses and I'll just start photographing and then I'll drop the camera and just go like, I'm like, because you're filming them with your head. So I probably look really strange in standing in the winner's circle, but that's the way I'm able to make content during stakes races and still be able to have something to be able to put out every time.
You've got it all thought out.
He does.
All by the seat of my pants.
Well, I'm wearing my purple because I'm ready for Adios. And it's one of my favorite days of the year coming out to you guys, being there for Adios Eve, being there. I always like to come out for a couple days, really let it all sink in. Plus, Pittsburgh's really pretty in the summer and you guys got the rivers and it's just fun to bring the whole family out. So, Scott, what is your favorite part of Adios Day?
I really, really like how although we're here and we're Pittsburgh, we're still Washington, PA, and how much the community and the local people really embrace the event. I mean, it's part of their fiber, their history. I mean, the track started in 63. The first Adios was like in 66 or 67, I think. So, these people have been coming out, a lot of them, since they were kids, and then and that kind of atmosphere that they gear up for it. You come here early in the morning and it's 8 o'clock and people are squirting off their picnic tables and all that kind of stuff. I really, really like that. I really like how the community embraces it.
That's awesome. It is. You guys have a great crowd come out of like hardcore fans, all dressed in their purple, ready to go. They bring their own picnic, tablecloths, and they set up camp for the day. They're ready.
Yeah, if you guys are familiar, there's the 4th of July in Cannonsburg's very big, the parade and everything. And all towns have those kind of events. And this is one of those events, for in racing, everybody comes out on Derby Day. We know that. That's, for that day of the year, everybody's a racing fan. Well, Adios Day is for Washington. That's a day on their calendar. I mean, the hardware store should give out calendars with that one marked on it as the date, because it's great. It really is. And the people just, obviously weather plays a lot, but the people do seem to have a really good time. Really good time.
Oh, yeah. I said every year there's just a huge crowd for Adios. Everyone knows when it is. Everyone looks forward to it. It's my favorite day of the year. I mean, growing up, that was the best day at the Meadows ever. So do you have anything you can tell us what we're expecting this year at Adios? Because this is going to air before Adios.
Yeah. I mean, we were just going over our racing menu. And last year we did some guarantees throughout the card. We're hoping, we were at 170,000 in total guarantees. We're hoping to bump that up a little bit. We're working on that. So that's something that'll, be coming if it gets all approved. Food and beverage is, we have a new food and beverage manager here and team, and they're bumping things up a little bit. We're transitioning a lot of our menus over to like a barbecue kind of theme for the summer. So there's going to be packages up on the patio, as I move my hand and show you where that is, up on the patio.
Technically, you're not wrong. It is right
there.
Yeah,
it is right up there. Yeah. So, but I think they're going to be like two different packages, either a $75 or I believe a $125 one, and that's an all-day buffet. And I think the $125 includes an open bar as well. And then with embers down on the apron, we have that. We'll have our container bar. We've got our Delvin's inside in the race book, and then the sports book. We're real fortunate in that our sports book, you actually can get out on the glass. You can see the races from up there. It's an incredible spot. So that's available. Even our eatery, you can sit and look and see the races. So there's lots of food opportunities for everyone. We have a signature drink that we came up with a few years ago. We call it the Orchid Elixir. Yes, it is purple. And it's a little sweet, but I'm not a big sweet drinker, but I don't know if anyone has ever tried one, but they're not too bad. They're pretty good. And we're doing a little souvenir kind of cup with them this year. So, it'll be something you can take home, and do. So those are just some of the things. And, for us, the big thing though is, we put a tent out on the apron and we kind of have more of a VIP kind of experience there with food and beverage and just the atmosphere. A lot of horsemen go in there, but we're hoping to open that up, to maybe more people and let them experience that and enjoy that kind of feeling of being a little extra special, even though we're all very special.
Everyone's a VIP when you come to the Meadows races.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I wanted to tell Scott that I've had the Orchid Elixir and it was really good. And I love that you guys garnish it with an actual little flower. Yeah.
It
was great.
The F&B team came up with it, and it, like I said, it's refreshing, especially, and and it looks nice too. It really does.
I never get one because I'm always over on the other side working. No one ever brings me a drink over. I'm just saying.
Well, how about we change that this year?
That would be great.
Oh, that's another thing. Big thing this year we're going to have. We're going to combine all of our talent on that day. We're going to have handicapping action, and it's all going to be basically centered on the front side. And we will have last year we did it with a small stage down by the winner's circle. And who knows, we might offer that to Donnell if she wants to be down there. And then she'll be right in the thick of the fans, and I'm sure many fans will bring her orchid elixirs throughout the course of the day.
All right, then I'm in. I'll be with the fans. I like it.
And we'll have some other handicappers as well. I think Gabe Pruitt's going to be there, Mike Probozzi and Kevin Plaucha, and then we'll also have Jeff Siddick, our announcer. So it's a great group of people, a lot of different perspectives on each race. So it should lend to a lot of different numbers being thrown out for people to look at, if nothing else.
Everyone's going to want to tune into the broadcast. It's going to be good. It's always a fun time. Okay, Chris, for Adios, how many cameras are you going to be setting up?
I don't know. I've never actually, I probably have counted now that I think about it, but, so I'll have 3 personally on me. There'll be 1 on the roof. The drone will be ready. There'll probably be 1 in the infield. The starting gate usually has a couple. Probably at least 10 to 12. That's usually a typical number for me. It does get stressful. I can't say that it's not, but, I try to handle it well, but, sometimes I don't, but, I do the best I can.
I think you handle it very well because you really don't have a lot of help. Like, it really is just you pretty much out there setting all these things up.
Yeah, like literally the only thing that I have is I'll have one of the girls. I steal one of them for the final in the from the MSOA, and I will fly the drone exactly where I want it for that photo and say, push this button when they come down the stretch. And that's about all that they do for me. The roof camera is set up to, it gets stressful because like the roof camera turns itself on, takes pictures, turns itself off. But I have to know that bracket of when the final is going to be because I don't want to miss it. So I'm always pestering him, are we going to be at this time, to make sure that I'm going to have the photo that I want from the roof with, with the crowd in the shot and the horses coming down the stretch, that's one of my signature shots. So I don't want to miss it. So that does get a little stressful, but for the most part, it's pretty,
I have to ask, how long does it take you to go through all those images and edit?
I think the hardest part of it is the 2 that are on the truck because they kind of run themselves. So those cameras alone could have a couple thousand photos on it. And all I really need is 1 photo off of each of those cameras. One is they're blasting out of the gate going in the final. And the other one, a couple points because it sits parallel with the truck. So it films them as they're going around or photographs them. It's a long process, Ashley. I did forget 2 cameras that I'll be using also. But some of my favorite time during the Adios is I get to spend about an hour at 7:00 in the morning every Adios with those 9 horses. Mm-hmm. And it's really just me and maybe a passing caretaker who comes in and feeds and takes them out or so. And the security guard. There's nobody in there but us. So, it's kind of neat to be around these racehorses. And I think I can almost get the feel of who I think is going to win by being with them in that morning. It's kind of funny because the ones who act up usually aren't the ones who win. You would think that these have all kinds of energy. It's the horses like Racing Hill, for an example. I spent time with Racing Hill when he won the Autos here, and I have never been around a more calm, more, I can't explain it, but he was just almost like the perfect gentleman. He was just so ready and focused, and he won the race. And I feel like it's been that way every year. But back to the it's a lot of photos. It's at least 5 digits. There's at least 10,000 photos to go through from that day, if not more.
Well, I'm coming to you for my tips. I want to know from you exactly who's going to win the Adios. So I'm sure a lot of people now are going to come to you, Chris, now that we have this inside information.
Yeah, Donnell, you're out. Chris, you're in.
You can have it, Chris. I'll hand it over to you.
Can I have one of those 99 cent per minute hotlines like you used to have to call back in the day to get your picks?
Chris, what's your favorite shot you've ever taken then? It could be a video too.
I don't know. Everybody always asks me that question. I don't know if I have one particular. I've always sat and thought, okay, so I've been doing this for 26 years. I've tried to guess a number of photos I've taken. And I'd have to think that I've taken probably over 5 million photos during the course of the time that I've been working at the track. So to narrow that down to one, it's probably the one that won me the most awards. It's probably my drone shot, the shadow shot. I mean, if it wasn't for, TC Lane at that point in time messaging me and saying, hey, can we have that photo that we can use it in the USTA magazine? I mean, if it wasn't for him doing that, it's just everywhere now. And so that's probably, if I had to choose one, that would probably be it. The very first time I ever flew a drone and and shot it, like literally, that's like the very first time I ever put a drone up for a photo. And I knew where it needed to be in the turn, but drones don't shoot like regular cameras. So I knew I'm going to get 2 shots at this, once when they go around the first time and once when they go around the second. Because by the time I get the second photo to push the button, they're out of my frame. So I knew I was going to get 2 pictures. So one of them had to be good. And I got it.
I mean, that's a good picture, but I feel like your favorite should have been a picture that you took of me. Any one of them. That's what I would have picked.
I mean, it could have been one. I have great videos of you where you're like doing ballet on the apron. I mean, it's not just photos with you.
I know, I'm very graceful. Scott, do you have a favorite picture of Chris's?
Yeah, it's the one of you doing the ballet. That's the one. I actually do, and it's here. It's that winter shot that Chris has. He has a shot. It's like a blizzard, and the horses are in it, and you almost you have to look and search to see the horses in the mix. It just I love those kind of photos, and that's just I think it's a phenomenal picture. I mean, Chris has taken, as he said, so many over the years, and I've only known him for a very, very short window of his career, but it's phenomenal, the work, and it's, I talk about the process. It's phenomenal to watch him from where he started, like with the social media aspect of it, 2.5 years ago, whatever that was, and where he's gotten to just so quickly, and not so much from the followers, but from the creativeness of what he's done. I mean, we went to Mahoning one day, and he wanted to do some stuff for thoroughbreds, and then he goes, like this past year, hey, I want to go back out, and I've got some new cameras, and I want to try some different things and some mounts and this. He's always thinking of the next thing and trying to do it. So, I'd be safe to say probably my favorite picture video hasn't been created yet. It's just everything he does is phenomenal, really.
Oh, well, before we put you guys in the hot seat, Chris, tell our listeners where they can follow you on your social media.
So all of my platforms just go by Chris Gooden Visuals. That was the easiest way to do it, to try to keep everything congruent through all the platforms. So the only one that's a little bit different, there is a Chris Gooden Visuals on Facebook, but Chris Gooden just on Facebook. I kind of tend to put more stuff on there, like photos and things like that. Chris Gooden Visuals tends to just be like reels. But that pretty much covers it everywhere else.
Scott, do you want them to follow you on any social media?
I would love to, yeah, but I'm not quite there yet. Okay.
Chris can help you, don't worry.
Scott's now more of a radio personality because he's had multiple interviews on the radio. And
I'm becoming. By the way, this will be the last time we can speak. You'll have to go through my agent from now. He makes nothing, but hey, who cares?
Are you guys ready for the hot seat?
I guess. Go ahead.
It's so fun. Okay, ready? I'll start it off. Okay. Would you rather get caught practicing a TikTok dance by a coworker or singing Taylor Swift in the public bathroom?
TikTok.
Taylor Swift.
TikTok. Definitely the dance.
I could see you dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, are you singing or dancing?
I apologize. I'm singing. Yeah, I'm not.
Scott said Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and Chris has heard me. I have an unbelievable voice, and we'll just leave it at that.
We'll take your word for it. We don't need to hear it. It's okay. Are you a Swiftie? Are you a Swiftie fan?
I'm not really a Swiftie, but she does put out some great music. There's no doubt about it.
We don't have a favorite song, Scott?
No, not really. I'm kind of old school. I like and I don't know the name, the T-shirts, short skirts, that one. That's a good song.
I have to think about this.
She wears t-shirt. Now I'm singing. See, there you
Oh,
go.
I like it.
I wear short skirts.
There you go. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I got you.
All right, next one. Which Harry Potter Hogwarts house do you identify with?
Probably Slytherin. Yeah, I'd have to say. I'd want to say I'm Gryffindor, but there's a little bit of Slytherin in me, more than I care to admit.
I love that you just said that, though. That's great.
I would love to say Hufflepuff, but I'm going to go with Gryffindor. I am going to go with Gryffindor. Yeah.
All right.
I could see you in Gryffindor.
Okay. Thank you. Why did you laugh when I said Hufflepuff, by the way, Chris?
Because the Hufflepuff was exactly who I would think you.
Well, I'm Ravenclaw, so proud of it.
Donnell?
Oh, I'm for sure Gryffindor.
Yeah.
I am Hermione. I'm just so smart. Are you kidding me?
Donnell, you got some Slytherin in you too. So
I know. I'm really Malfoy. Like, if I identify as a character, it's Malfoy. What is a word that you hate to hear people say? What word just makes you cringe?
Stupid. I hate the word stupid, especially when it's referring to someone.
yeah, it's moist without a doubt.
I hate that word too.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
I like
just,
that word. I use it all the time. Like, when that cake's moist, I have to say that.
I don't even like the way it's spelled.
I'm going to say it all the time when I'm around you. I can't wait to see you this
Right.
weekend.
hashtag moist.
Ashley's cringe. Ashley's cringe should be your new cover photo.
Yeah, it really should. Oh, I hate that word. I can't even say it. Ugh. All right. What cheese do you think is the best cheese of all the cheeses?
It's a hard one. They're all so good.
My favorite is Parmigiano Reggiano.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Ew.
the. What do you mean, ew? I think it's like the perfect cracker cheese. It's not just like regular Parmesan, Donnell. It's like,
It's fancier.
I like mozzarella.
yeah.
I love brie. When it's soft and gooey. Yeah,
I love brie too. Do you ever add cherries or some at Christmas, some kind of filling? Oh,
Say
yeah.
hi.
Even hello.
Say hi,
Even
Lena.
we've been just put it in the oven with some a good berry preserve or something like that on top, and just let it get a little extra gooey inside. Yeah, it's really good. I've had it with honey and nuts on it. It's awesome. Yeah.
brie's the best. I love it. I love it. I buy myself my own little round around Christmas and Thanksgiving, and no one else eats it but me, and I'm happy about that.
Now you guys made me hungry.
I
Love
know.
cheese.
Yeah, I could live on
Who
cheese.
doesn't?
Me too. Scott, what is something Chris does that annoys you?
I'm going to use the term. Sometimes he's a little high maintenance, and I'll just say that.
I'm not going to deny it.
Just a little.
I'm going to need an example of what Chris does to be a little bit high maintenance.
Let's when things aren't going his way, sometimes it's we have to drop what we're doing and kind of run to help a little bit once in a while. I don't want to go into particulars because there could be court cases. I don't know. We'll just leave it at that. Fair, Chris? Fair. I didn't insult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Chris, here's your revenge. What annoys you about Scott?
See, this isn't fair because then it looks back on me because the thing about Scott is every time I need him, I can't find him. So it kind of falls right back into me of needing something again. So that it just defeated the purpose of everything there. But I know how busy he is, but I feel like every time I go to his office to ask him something or need something, he's not there.
He's hiding from you, duh.
Probably.
He always texts or calls, so it's
We need to get you one of those little GPS. You just need to share your location with Chris so he can hunt you down properly.
Maybe I'll do that. I need help with that too, Chris.
Or we can slide one of those little tiles into Chris's or Scott's shoe, Chris. So then you just, air tag him.
Air tag me. That'll be the easiest way. Yep.
Well, that's it for the hot seat. You guys did pretty good. You came out of it all right, unscathed, I think.
You survived Hot to Trot.
You did. Well, it's been so much fun. Again, we can't wait for Adios this year. We're going to be coming out there in full Hot to Trot PHRA, ready to go. Our fabulous selves. And Chris, and you always get great pictures of me making the best faces.
I think this year we need to do like a triple TikTok. I think it's time.
Yes.
The three of us in one. Yeah. I'm normally not on camera, but I think I can make an exception.
Yeah, you need to be on camera.
I think we should learn a dance.
Oh, Jesus.
Scott can dance. I know he can.
Oh, I'm great. As good as I can sing. I'll videotape. You three put something together, I'll videotape.
I'm sure the video will turn out beautiful.
I have a very good teacher. Let's put it that way. I have a very good teacher.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Hot to Trot. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you at the Adios.
Thanks, ladies.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening, and thank you to the Standardbred Breeders of Pennsylvania for sponsoring Hot to Trot. We'll see you next time.